Hi, Rupert. My question has to do with my meditation. I've been meditating for a long time as a witness, and I listen to the voice that comes up. I let the thoughts come and go, and then when nothing's happening, I stay with the attention. But I'm realizing now that I'm being dual, and I am observing something, I'm listening something. So how can I transition my meditation to non-duality?
Okay. The short answer is the yoga meditations. The slightly longer answer is this witnessing meditation that you've been doing is absolutely the right place to start, and you've been doing it for a long time, because normally we feel I, the body-mind, am aware of the world. So that this first stage of the contemplation is to realize, no, it's not I, the body-mind, that is aware of the world. It is I, the witnessing presence of awareness, that is aware of the body-mind world. And this establishes I am the witnessing presence of consciousness. Now, that by itself, that recognition by itself, doesn't bring about liberation. It gives us access to the peace of our true nature, but it doesn't bring about full liberation, because the witnessing presence of consciousness has not yet been liberated from limitations. There can still be, we can still know, yes, I am the witnessing presence of awareness, but that awareness can still be temporary and finite. So there is and this is why it's valuable to pause and to spend some time in this intermediary step to really establish in our experience that the witnessing presence of awareness is not located anywhere. It is not in time or in space. It is, in other words, it is eternal and infinite. And that takes, in most cases, some time. In the first step, the true and only self of pure awareness has been liberated from the first layer of limitations, from thoughts, feelings, and sensations. But there's it's as if there are layers of limitation around awareness, and it's necessary to go all the way back to pure awareness that has no finite qualities, that doesn't share the limits or the destiny of the body. And that recognition, the recognition, I, the witnessing presence of awareness, am ever present, and therefore without birth or death, and infinite, and therefore I have no sense of lack. So this discovery, I am eternal and infinite, puts to rest the two essential elements of the separate self, the fear of death and the sense of lack. So, but as you rightly say, even when we discover the ever-present infinite nature of awareness, there is still this duality. We could call it enlightened duality, because there is I, infinite awareness, and all this other realm of experience, the body-mind world. So we then have to collapse the apparent distinction between these two realms. And that's exactly what the yoga meditations are designed to do. The first path from I am the body-mind to I am infinite awareness was made most explicit in the Vedanta teachings. But this second path, the collapse of the distinction between awareness and its objects, was implicit in many Vedanta teachings, but not explicit. It was only made explicit in the Tantric traditions, particularly the Kashmiri Shaivite tradition, or at least that's the tradition that I'm most familiar with. And these yoga meditations come from that tradition. So, for instance, the meditation we did this morning, although it started with something like be the openness in which the objects are appearing. As the morning went on, the objectness of the object and the subjectness of the subject began to merge into one another, until in the end we couldn't tell the difference between sensing and the knowing of it, between hearing and the knowing of it. So these yoga meditations are designed precisely to affect this dissolution, this apparent dissolution between the subject and the object. So I would recommend you having spent many years standing as the witness of your experience, explore this second path. And there are, in the box set, if you have it, there are several towards the end of that, because the box set starts roughly with the first path. But as it goes on, they become more and more the yoga meditations. And also on my website, in the section called Yoga Meditations, there are many, many examples, contemplations similar to the one we did this morning. So that would be the way to go. And it's not an intellectual exercise, that there's really nothing for the mind to do. It's not an investigative process. The first process is an investigative process. It starts off as self-inquiry, and it then develops more into self-abidance or self-resting. But the second path, the path of inclusion, rather than the path of exclusion, there's nothing for the mind to do there. It's all about, because it's about it's about our sensations, it's about our perceptions. It's not about thinking anymore. So that's why in these yoga meditations we're very free. We might do strange exercises or contemplations, imagining the breath is taking place, because we're no longer being rational. Now I'm being rational. But in the yoga meditations, it's to do with it's to do with feelings and sensations and perceptions. So that's the way to go. Experiment with that.
Thank you.
And as just one thing, as we were talking at lunch, you described very beautifully when you're running, how you've already got the taste of it. You described how when you're running, you can actually contemplate your experience. We don't have to be sitting still on our chairs. That's just the way we start. But when you're going for a walk, when you're doing your marathons, when you can explore your experience like this, and I would encourage you to tailor these yoga meditations to your particular circumstance. So when you're going on a 25-mile run, you just feel, I'm going on a 25-mile yoga contemplation, and you explore your breath. As you're running, you can feel that you're breathing in, see the effect on your running. You feel you're breathing in love from the space behind, and it's filling up your body. Feel, for instance, that the ground under you is not something resisting you. It's not something solid. It's something light. It's just made of perception. And experiment with this way, and you'll see an effect on your running.
Thank you.